Think I'm live. Alright, what is up, guys? Today we're going to be watching the FNAF Unsolved series by DAWKO. Okay. See, there is Aftonbear in the chat. Right. Getting some more people in the chat. What's up? V for Vice says Riz. I do not have Riz. Hope YouTube was notifying people. Alright, there we go. Alright, what's up, guys? What's good? What's good, short Spidey? Here we go. I'm gonna start watching. This intro is wild. This intro is wild.
Hello everybody and welcome to the brand new series called FNAF Unsolved. In this brand new series we're going to be discussing the most mysterious subjects in the whole of FNAF. And the first one today we're going to be talking about is
The box!
The box in Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Another exciting thing is that for each subject that we talk about we're going to be having a special guest. And the first guest on episode 1 about the box is John FNAF.
Hi everyone! Thanks for having me. I'm so excited
John!
to be here and talk about the box, and hopefully we'll solve it today.
This series is basically like a discussion podcast with special guests. It isn't a theory video. It isn't anything like that. It's not a video where we're going to say we solved the box or anything. It's just a nice little discussion video where we bring up the biggest subjects of mysteries in the franchise, basically. So lower your pitchforks, guys. I'm sorry, but nothing's going to be solved today. We're just giving our own thoughts to the biggest mysteries in the franchise. Okay? So let's get straight into it. So the box in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, 9 years later, is still one of probably the biggest mystery in Five Nights at Freddy's. The box was in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, right? That's the first time we got to witness the box for the first time, and it was getting the nightmare ending in FNAF 4, and it was locked. There was 2 locks attached to this box, and you couldn't open it. You were clicking on the box, and it was rattling.
Oh, they got the jingles right.
And above the
shakes.
box, it says, perhaps some things are best left forgotten for now. Which insinuates to
Dude,
me
this
that
animation.
for now is like, oh, we'll learn about something later. Like, this is a teaser for a next game, maybe.
Look at the animation.
I think that's what I was thinking. I was, like, literally 15 years old at the time, but I think I was
Same.
thinking, like, maybe this is a teaser for something new. Do you remember what you were thinking?
I think I originally thought that the box could be opened in FNAF 4. Like, there was a secret night or something where it can be opened, like teasing that there's a way to open it in the game. I do actually remember in the files of the game that you could actually take the locks off. There was like coding or something. There was a way to make the locks fall to the ground. So maybe at one point Scott was going to have the box open in the game, and then he changed his mind for the next game, or you know, something like that.
I feel like people were trying like different patterns, because you could like click on the locks and make them move. I feel like people were trying different patterns of like, oh, if you click on it 1,987 times, maybe it'll,
1,987.
or something like that. I don't know. People were trying everything, but I don't think you can't open it in the real game. But it's interesting in the game files that you could open it.
It's crazy too that like if the thing wasn't even meant to be open to begin with, why would you even allow people to like mess with the locks? Like, Scott was messing with us, man.
So after FNAF 4, I remember Scott made a Steam post saying that he originally was thinking about opening the box, but he decided not to, saying perhaps some things are best left forgotten forever. So I don't think he ever plans on revealing what's in the box, and I think it's just one of those things that's gonna become something that's gonna be talked about forever. But maybe he'll change his mind one day. But after
It's
FNAF
terrible.
4, I remember we got FNAF World.
You need to
And
know.
one of the box wasn't in FNAF World, but it was in the game files, and it was opened. So I think that's really interesting. And I remember I did research for this video, and I watched a video from DJ Sturf from 8 years ago, January 2016, where he was looking through the game files of FNAF World, and he found the box that was opened, and he also found where it was supposed to be. And it was actually supposed to be placed in the first glitch world that you go into, the blue one where you first enter the glitch world. It was supposed to be in that area. Did you know that?
I did not know
I had
that.
no idea.
I didn't know that either until today.
I did not know
I
that.
knew that the box was open in the game files, but I didn't know where it was supposed to be placed. That's
Hell, I
very
never even knew that was meant to
interesting.
be open.
Yeah, there was like a little bit of coding on it, like feeding it random numbers between 1 and 63, I believe, but there wasn't really anything. You can't really open it or anything, but it was supposed to be. This is DJ Sturf, so if I'm wrong, I trust DJ Sturf, but it was supposed to be in the glitch world, which is really interesting. I think that's super important.
Yeah, I agree that it's important. And remember, guys, like this is the game after FNAF 4, okay? I know that Scott said some things are best left forgotten forever, but originally it was for now, and then he made FNAF World. And interestingly, the box is there, open in FNAF World.
Yeah, and I think it's important to say that the canonicity of FNAF World, like, people do think the game's canon. Even I think the game's a little bit canon because there's something in Ultimate Custom Night that connects back to FNAF World. Like if you do the Old Man Consequences and fall into the lake in Ultimate Custom Night, it unlocks the trophy in FNAF World. So I don't know. It could be canon. It could not. I don't know.
But that doesn't mean some of the ideas that were originally in FNAF World, it doesn't mean that some of those ideas are not allowed to be in the future of the story.
So because the box was supposed to be in the glitch world of FNAF World, like the blue first glitch world, I think because there's in FNAF World you can get to that like happiest day, it's called in the game files, but it's like the multicolored screen switching between colors, and like people think it's an angel or it's Scott's two kids and him. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
You get to that through the glitches, through going too deep into the glitches. So I think originally there was supposed to be more stuff hidden inside the glitch world, maybe, and the box and what's inside the box was maybe supposed to be part of that. But I do think it probably has to do with the crying child, because the map of FNAF World looks like the crying child's brain, or a brain, and I think FNAF World takes place in the crying child's brain, and it's all about Golden Freddy and all that stuff. So probably related to the box. I don't know. What do you think?
I've got a similar idea that FNAF World is all about Golden Freddy. And if you remember the Find the Clocks minigames, it's all setting up the instructions on how to get the happiest day at the end of Five Nights at Freddy's 3. They are literally identical. We'll show all the minigames here in FNAF World. It is so obvious. It's literally right there, right? I don't think me and John are going crazy. The connection is 1,000,000% obvious. Look at all the mini games in FNAF World. They're all in the same order as well. When you find the clocks, they're all in the same order. So the first one is Balloon Boy. You put Balloon Boy in a spot.
Yeah, you push him into like a box, I think.
Yeah, and then the second clock is the Mangle quest, the combination on what to do on the arcade machines. The third clock is the Shadow Cupcakes. The fourth one is the Fred
Sorry for
Bear
not
one.
commentating a lot.
Did
I'm
you push
like
Fred
locked
Bear
in.
Or
I'm
you did
invested.
395248? I don't know.
39524.
Like, it's actually crazy how they're teaching me things right now that like I've completely forgotten and or didn't know was there.
Right, yes,
You actually see that in the FNAF World.
Yes, you have to choose the right combination of numbers.
Yeah, and then the fifth clock is Shadow Bonnie. You move Shadow Bonnie or whatever. It is clearly obvious that Scott had that idea where we are setting up the happiest day ending to happen. Scott clearly had an idea where all of the FNAF World clock mini games are connected to FNAF 3. It is literally right there. There's a connection between those two, right? Why is the box open in FNAF World? There's got to be originally an idea that Scott had where all of this stuff, the big importance of FNAF World and the box open. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. It goes on to what we think's in the box.
God, I've never thought about the box this much in my life.
I had these are my two ideas, John, that what I thought
He's
was
a
originally
theorist.
in the box. So I originally thought that either the puppets in the box originally or the crying child's body or something. Those were my original things, and I was like, oh, because you know, if it's
definitely a
open in
body in
FNAF
there.
World and it's all about the crying child, then that means the crying child's body was in there. Or now, because you've said, oh, it's the puppet could be setting it all up. Now you think, oh, it's open there. Now that means it could be the puppet in the box.
And people think that because in FNAF 3, the puppet is the one giving the crying child their happiest day. So like people are, oh, so the puppet is in FNAF World setting up the happiest day. I don't know.
The last thing we're going to talk about the box's history is Dreamgeist from Fury's Rage. The box is inside of Dreamgeist with all of the other FNAF stuff as well.
And notably,
Sorry.
it looks like the box is
Sorry,
open,
chat.
and all of this stuff is like spilling out of the box. Like there's no locks on the box in the Dreamgeist's head. It has Toy Chica without her beak, has all of the ball pit balls. It has a key. It feels like just a whole poking fun at Dream Theory, but I don't know. It could be deeper than that.
Yeah, it could
What
be
if it
deeper
is
than that.
Dream
Like
Theory?
the whole box is the memory of FNAF 4, like the nightmares and stuff. Like trauma.
What if FNAF
the
was just a
trauma's been
dream?
locked away inside a box. Okay, guys, so that is basically all the history about the box. And ever since Dreamgeist in Fury's Rage, we haven't seen it yet. The next subject is what we think is in the box. Our ideas on what we think is inside the box. Pretty simple, right? No, it's not. John, I'm going to kick it off to you. What do you think is in the box? Originally, what do you think was originally in the box?
Originally.
Okay, originally, what I actually think is the box is all just a metaphor. I've thought this for a while. I thought it's exactly what kind of Scott said it was. It's all of the pieces put together. It's all of the answers being revealed. And I think Scott realized that revealing all of the answers is just kind of ruins the fun. It gets rid of the mystery, and I think he doesn't want to do that. I think it was just a big metaphor for all of the answers being revealed. But an interesting theory that I've had like recently about what's in the box is I think it was a toy box.
Toy
Like
box.
if you look up what a like toy trunk looks like, it's like has the same design of like the two things on the front, like over the top of the box. I think when Scott said on scottgames.com, why is Tiny Toy Chica missing her beak? It became obvious that he's using the toys and the plushies in the game to kind of prove Dream Theory, in my opinion. I'm a Dream Theory believer, at least back then. But
Damn.
he was clearly using like the toys and the plushies. Like when you close the closet on Foxy in FNAF 4, he turns into a Foxy plushie. Like the toys and stuff are heavily involved with that theory and with the game. And I think originally that was supposed to be all of the toys that inspired the Crying Child's dreams that became the FNAF 1, 2, 3 games, if you know what I mean. Like the plush trap toy.
By the way, if you guys are locked in, make sure you smack that like button.
Toy Chica.
This is getting
That the
juicy.
little girl on the grass is
John's
playing with
cooking.
is FNAF 2. If you know what I'm picking up on. Like look up a trunk for toys. I'll send your editor a picture, but it looks very similar to the box we get. So that's kind of recently, and also Dreamgeist. You see the open box and there's Toy Chica and ball pit balls. There's a bunch of toys in there. I don't know. That's kind of my recent theory. But what do you think? What do you think is in the box?
I think that's a good one. We were just talking about this earlier after we came onto this, guys, about Dreamgeist, and the box being open in its head and all the memories of FNAF 4 spilling out of the box. The traumatic memories of Five Nights at Freddy's 4. It's kind of like what John said, like Dream Theory, but I'm just talking more specifically about Five Nights at Freddy's 4, the game, that it was a nightmare, and all of this trauma and the memories of that happening have just been trapped inside a box. I'm sure I've seen a movie or something where a therapist tells somebody to put their trauma inside of a locked box inside their head. I'm sure I've seen that somewhere, and I could have, you know, it could be something like that. When Michael Afton was having the nightmares, the memories of FNAF 4, what he did to the crying child.
I'm still thinking it's his body in the box, probably.
The box was like a metaphor, like a meaning of the memories of Five Nights at Freddy's 4, the events of what happened,
then
all
again,
the trauma of the nightmare.
With all this FNAF information coming out and like all my brain being jumbled with it, I can't even like give you a direct answer of what I really think is in the box. So I'm gonna use the safe, or this, I guess maybe the second safe answer, which is probably the kid's body.
And everything.
You had another idea about the puppet being in the box.
Yeah, so originally, back in the day,
Originally
I think a lot of people were thinking the same, that originally the puppet was in the box, originally.
Jeez.
And like Afton like shoved the puppet in there or something, I don't know. But yeah, I think that was a big theory at the start, and it can link with
He's gonna say
FNAF
it again.
World,
Just
like
give him a second.
open, and the puppets in FNAF World, and creating the events of Happiest Day, something like that.
Yeah, and I remember people saying like it's connected to the Silver Eyes trilogy because Charlie was like in the fourth closet. She was found locked in a box, like in Aunt Jen, I think is her name's like basement or something, back room. She was like literally folded up into a box. So people were like, oh, that's what's in the box. It was Charlie or Puppet or whatever. But yeah, I think that's a pretty solid theory as well.
Another darker side to it could be that, you know, the box is connected to the bite victim, because, you know, it's all about FNAF 4. The dark side to it could be that Afton put the bite victim's corpse in there or something. It's pretty dark. Remember, it is a discussion video. I'm not saying that's canon, but, you know, something like that maybe. It is a bit darker. But, you know, when you discuss things, you have to think about everything. So
Exactly. And now I'm thinking like, oh, maybe that's what the mound in Midnight Motorist is. That's the crying child's grave, and that's where the box is or something.
Yeah, that's I was thinking about that, about Midnight Motorist, because in a future episode, guys, we are going to be talking about Midnight Motorist. That ground pile, I did think maybe that's where the box could be buried or something.
So I guess that comes back to the question: is it solvable? Do you think it's even solvable, or is it too?
It probably is at
much
this
of a
point.
mystery?
I think Scott does know the answer. Of course he does. He knows originally what he was planning on doing.
He said it again.
We will talk about that right now, actually. So,
Like, honestly, if the original chapter of Five Nights at Freddy's like ended, like, you know, with the dead kids and stuff, and now we're in like an age of AI, like it's connected to the other one, but it's like its own thing now. I feel like with the main, or like the first arc of Five Nights at Freddy's being done and completed, and the kids are free and Afton's dead somewhere, I'm pretty sure we have everything we need, but we're just like not seeing it, or we're overcomplicating it.
one big thing that we haven't mentioned yet is in the Scott interview back in 2018. Scott does say that the contents of the box have changed.
He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. The
changed?
contents of that box have changed over the years because, you know, it's for that very reason. It's because, you know, of what I was intending the game to be when it happened, and then after the reaction of it, I was like, I need to craft this into something better.
So originally he had an idea what was in the box, and then he changed it. So that is a very big thing to talk about in this video.
So maybe it
could've
was a
just been
dream,
slight
but then now
change or
there's a kid's
something, or
body in it.
a major change. You know, it could have been like, oh, the puppet was in the box, but now it's Golden Freddy, or Golden Freddy was in the box, but now it's the puppet, or it was a metaphor, but now it's not. You know what I mean? So it is a big thing, and we're gonna try and discuss our ideas on what Scott was thinking.
How can you change
Right.
what's in the box,
I think
though?
in the interview you're referencing the Scott interview you did, right? That's where he said it. I think he was mentioning MatPat, saying like
How
MatPat
can you
mentioned that in
change
a
the
video
contents?
once, and no one probably really thought much of it, but MatPat was he was kind of like the story. At least this is my interpretation. After FNAF 4, the story changed with Sister Location. I think it was originally supposed to be something around the lines of Dream Theory, and then the story became more grounded in reality. I feel like Scott in the interview says that he always tried to lean more sci-fi, but had to always pull it back because the audience didn't like sci-fi elements. And I think Sister Location added a ton of sci-fi, but also at the same time grounded the story a little bit more. And I think originally the box was supposed to be a metaphor for all of the pieces put together. And I honestly think MatPat got it right when he said that the box kind of changed to the FNAF 6 map. The FNAF 6 map looking like the box. Because in the ending where Henry's giving his big speech, parts of the map disappear and it turns into what looks like the box. I think MatPat was right in that idea. And Scott even admitted in the interview with you himself that, like, MatPat was right that because the story changed, the box indirectly, what was in the box changed as well. So I honestly think MatPat was right about that. I think the box was originally just a metaphor. For the pieces put together. And then I think the box turned into, like, what is the map of FNAF 6 and burning all the animatronics. Basically paragraph 4. Like, burning all of the animatronics down in one place in FNAF 6. I guess it's still a metaphor. It's MatPat's theory from back in the day about how the map of the FNAF 6, like, chasing the animatronics around, looks like the box. How does it connect back to FNAF 4?
What do you think is inside the box, chat?
Concluding the story of everything, of the crying child.
We didn't even talk about this. So originally, FNAF 4 was supposed to be the last game, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was supposed to be the final chapter.
Completely forgot about that one.
So I think originally, what John has said, what was in the box is the whole story. 1, 2, 3, and 4, the memories of that, all locked away in a box. All together, 4 games, 1 story. The contents of the box changed because Scott decided to continue the story after 5 Nights at Freddy's 4.
I agree. Yep. That's a great explanation. I
still think there's buff helpy in the box.
I think that's what it was originally supposed to be.
Golden's
Some things
eye?
are best left forgotten for now, forever. Like,
Someone said Golden Freddy's eyes might be in the box. That would be crazy. That's why we don't open it. Originally count 7.
I just think it was all the story in that, like, I don't know, like a memory capsule or something. I don't want to make it too complicated. Like a metaphor of all the story in one box. All the
4 games, 1 story. What if William's plans were outlined in the box? I don't know, though. If I wrote on a piece of paper, I plan on committing 5 murders, and these 5 murders will give me ghost gel. And with ghost gel, I'll probably bring back my kid or whatever the hell he really wanted to do with Remnant or gain immortality. You know, I mean, I guess keeping it in your box would be good because, you know, the police would think you're insane, and then you won't get the chair at least, but you'll get time. So maybe that's why William left it in there? I don't know.
Pieces together. And then, you know, it was supposed to be the final chapter, but then Scott decided to, you know what, I'm going to continue the story. And then he just left the box a mystery. It's still the same premise that it's a metaphor of the story, but it got changed because the story continued. If it was something like the puppet in the box, I feel like Scott would have showed that in a game by now. I feel like he would have shown the puppet coming out of the box, it being set free. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I really like the metaphor stuff because in FNAF 6, you literally are taking every character and all the animatronics and putting them all into one place, and that's the end of the story. You burn everything to the ground in that map again. That looks like the box, kind of. I don't know what people think these days anymore, but yeah, I really like that. It's signifying the end of the story.
Yeah. But who knows, guys? Maybe it was an animatronic or a specific object inside the box that Afton put in or Michael put in a box or something, or it was a toy box like John suggested.
Not gonna lie, FNAF should have ended at FNAF 4. I don't think Scott knew how to continue the story. Honestly, I don't know. If he was trying to do a different story, but the internet reacted to a different way from a different type of story that we put in our heads or some shit. Honestly, put the ghost to rest, end the game, and then just start the new arc of Five Nights at Freddy's in a futuristic security breach-esque thing, I guess. But if the bite victim's body was in the box, why not just get a casket? Because that's really weird for him just to put his dead body in a random ass box. I mean, if he plans on using the immortality gel to bring back his kid, and that's why he killed the 5 kids, I guess it would be better to keep your son in a box so he can just get up. With a casket, you probably gotta like axe that shit to get it open or something. I don't know. And then you gotta bury it, and then it gets all dirty. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know the mind of somebody who had to go kill 5 kids for immortality gel.
We don't know. Do you think...
Because Scott won't let me.
That it will ever be solved? Do you think one day Scott will ever say what the original plan of the box was going to be?
Hell no, he won't.
Maybe one day.
No, he won't. He's a troll. He'll never tell us.
I honestly don't know. I don't know. It depends what he's thinking.
That man will never tell us a single thing.
Is satisfied with what the community has said. Maybe when the day people stop talking about it, he'll reveal what's in the box. I think that's the true answer. The day people stop talking about it is when he'll be like, okay, it's time.
I feel like there's some great ideas of what could be inside the box, but the only way we'll ever know the real answer is if Scott says something. I think there's too many ideas, and there's, you know, our ideas have things that are against it, and, you know, there's too much going on where ideas can just clash, and yeah, I don't know.
And I think that's the case with a lot of
we
things
over
in the franchise.
Exaggerated the story,
For
probably.
sure. I think that's why
Then he changed it so it made sense for us.
There's not concrete answers.
But we still
to a
can't
ton of
solve
things.
it.
So you kind of have to fill in the gaps yourself, theorize yourself. And I also think that's the fun of the franchise. I think it's super fun to think about what it could be. And maybe one day we'll get the answers. Maybe we won't. But right now, I'm just having fun theorizing.
Yeah, like I said earlier, guys, like if it was the puppet in the box or something, I do feel like if the box was super important with a massive lore detail, it would have been shown by now. So, yeah, if it was like Golden Freddy's mask or the puppets, or you know, or a corpse or something, or anything super important, lore changing, he would have shown it by now. So I do feel like it was just a metaphor originally.
I agree. You're right. I think if it was something that you needed to know to understand the basic story of the games, he would have revealed it. So I think you're totally on point with that one.
So with the FNAF 4 box, me and John can say it will remain unsolved.
Ah, that was cool.
Thank you so much for
I see
watching,
what they
guys,
did there.
on episode 1 of FNAF Unsolved. I really do appreciate it.
That was
Thank
awesome.
you, John, for being my first guest of the series.
Aw, thanks for having me. I know our thoughts were kind of scattered, but that's just kind of how it is with this franchise, so...
Yeah, but that's
I think it was fun.
Yeah, that's exactly how I wanted it though, guys. I wanted this to be like a discussion podcast style video where we just ramble our thoughts and just talk about it. It's not supposed to be like a detailed theory video or a planned video or something like that. I just want to talk about stuff with special guests about unsolved mysteries about the franchise. So yeah, if you guys have got any ideas as well, your own theories and ideas, what you think the box is, and do you think it will be solved, please let us know your thoughts in the comment section. I will also put John's channel in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you all in episode 2 with the next special guest. Lots of love, and I'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Oh shit! It's DJ Sturf. What's up, DJ Sturf? Unconfirmed. Foxy with a burger in his mouth is inside the box. Honestly,
bro, it could be Scott Cawthon's underwear in there. Like, I don't know what is inside that box. Like,
I don't know, man. Imagine he reveals it tomorrow. Yeah. for Scott to just reveal it out of nowhere on an interview, that don't even sound like Scott. Scott will sit there and troll. Scott's gonna probably sit there and say like, I don't know, man, it could be Foxy's hook, even though it's clearly on him in every single game. Like, Scott will just do anything to mess with his audience. I love that about him though. Can't wait for tomorrow. Yeah, I can't wait for that interview tomorrow though. Hopefully we just get to learn more about Scott. We don't even need lore. I just want to know more about Scott. Like, what's he been up to? What's retirement like for somebody who creates a high class horror title? But yeah, and that's pretty much it for the stream. I don't know why. I'm kind of in the mood to play FNAF World, so maybe like a little bit before Scott's interview tomorrow, I might stream and run some FNAF World. Maybe not. I don't know. But I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Thank you for tuning into the stream. I need to get some rest after stream.